In the first 3 quarters of the year, China's foreign trade rose 4% from the same period last year. In September alone, the country's imports and exports totaled more than 4 trillion yuan, up 8% from a year ago. While the trade relationship between China and the US has been fraught, China's trade with ASEAN members has been growing steadily.
Chinese companies have been just recently setting up in Thailand less than 10 years. So this is going to take time. I would say that it's a start, but so far the relationship has been quite rocky.
China has remained ASEAN's largest trading partner for 16 consecutive years, while ASEAN has been China's largest trading partner for 5 straight years. A white paper released by the China Finance 40 Forum and Capricorn Bank shows ASEAN has become a top destination for Chinese exports. And for more insights into the trade relationship, I sat down with Burin Adewatana, Managing Director and Chief Economist at Capricorn Research. Mr. Adewatana, great to have you with us on Shanghai.
Thank you for having me.
Any new trends you've identified among Chinese firms this year who are seeking to go in abroad, especially in the Southeast Asian market?
What we find is quite interesting. I think because of the backdrop of the Trump tariff uncertainty, I find that there are more diversification moving into Thailand. Before we used to think that the Chinese company would just pick one location in ASEAN to operate, but now we just find that to hedge against uncertainty, they seem to place their operation all over ASEAN. So Thailand benefited from that, because I think as an insurance in case of a country, for example Vietnam, might get higher tariff, they could easily move operation into Thailand. So I think that is the new trend, and also I think they are more focused on using local content because of the transshipment tax by the US administration. So I think more benefit should come into the local producer, where we can integrate more deeply with the Chinese supply chain.
When did you really start to witness an increase of Chinese firms who are interested in expanding their business to Thailand?
I think we saw a gradual build-up of Chinese companies, but the trend really accelerated with the first Trump administration, the obstacles from Chinese export going directly to the US. So I think we've seen them relocate some of their productions to avoid anti-dumping, the circumvention duties. So they moved to Thailand. So that was the first wave. But this re-accelerated after the second wave. So we've seen more and more, not just to avoid the tariff uncertainty, but I think also to use Thailand and ASEAN countries as a hub to export to not just to the US but to global markets. But we are not the top recipient of Chinese FDI. We lag behind other countries like Indonesia or Vietnam. But this is, I think overall the trend is more and more investment will come to Thailand along with other ASEAN countries.
So compared with 7 years ago, have you felt any changes among Chinese firms who are having their business in Thailand?
I think the Chinese firm is trying to integrate more, into the local supply chain. So this is what we see. And with the transshipment, I think they've got to be quite careful, not just using Thailand as a point of Chinese assembly of Chinese products and then just rerouted it to the US. But I think they're thinking more of Thailand and ASEAN as part of the supply chain. We've seen more electronics. We've seen more for example the PCB, printed circuit boards. We've seen more retailers. For example I can't pronounce it probably, the ice cream Mishu. In more Chinese F&B firms are moving into Thailand, the hot pot, mala. So I think we've seen more investment into consumer product, not just using Thailand as a production facility and re-export.
Amid this global uncertainty, do you think it's now the right time for Chinese firms to expand even further in Southeast Asian market?
Yes, I think so, because I do think that the geopolitical tensions between the US and China is not going to go away anytime soon. But having a neutral partner like ASEAN countries, so I think trading through ASEAN, it may not be the most efficient, but in terms of avoiding the highest tariff, ASEAN could serve as a hub, an alternative source of production, and also another source of new market, because we are growing in terms of population and wealth. But also Chinese companies can use ASEAN to expand to other regions around the world as well.
Mr. Adewantana, great to have you with us. Thank you
so
for your
much.
time.